All right. I'm just rocking out. We're going to get started. It is our April Lunch and Learn, and the topic is Decluttering 101 here at Love Bigger / Clean Sweep Consulting in our Love Bigger community. Wanted to welcome you all today. I am going to hop over and share my screen, and it is going to be I'll deliver it to you in PowerPoint format so you can kind of see some of my thoughts in writing, because some people, different types of learners, right? Some people like to hear it, some people like to see it. So I'm going to share my screen and put up something for you to check out here. Clean that up a little bit. Yay. So guys, today is Decluttering 101. I'm totally pumped to talk to you about this today. And this is the two different organizations that I have founded over the years. Clean Sweep Consulting has been around for 18, 19 years now. It is a professional organizing, decluttering, move management, downsizing, you name it, organizing business. But our primary focus is in people's homes and in helping them to own less. We are not about buying a ton of sweet little plastic containers to hold more and more and more and more stuff and just stress you out. We are here about reducing your footprint, reducing the amount of things that you own, the quantity of those items, and the amount of maintenance and care that all of those things require. And we're about supporting charity. That's where Love Bigger comes in. We are about supporting charities with those items. So that's what we do here. So Love Bigger is an online donation marketplace to connect givers with local charity organizations. We motivate joyful giving to trust organizations while we are, look at this, getting rid of clutter. So it is springtime, and I'll tell you what, it feels great to declutter. It feels amazing to let go of stuff. So how do we get more organized? How do we get more focused? How do we reduce our distractions? And how do we get our kids to help? That's another question that, inquiring minds want to know, right? So let's talk about the C word a little bit first before we get into the decluttering piece. That's D. So C comes first in the alphabet, right? We're going to talk about clutter. Clutter is something that the minimalists, a lot of people talk about. This is one of the definition that's out there that they use a lot. Personally, I think of clutter as blocked energy. I think of it as just, when you have a terrible cold and you've got that terrible stuffy nose and you just feel so frustrated because you can't breathe, right? Get the analogy? So, but it isn't just the physical stuff. It's also, there's a part of clutter that's old ideas, it's toxic relationships and the things we cling on to from that. It's bad habits. It's things that we need to improve in our life, process improvement, right? You're always in a state of improvement or else you're dead, right? We want to get to the end of our life with a system, with a process, without all that extra stress, and really enjoy the time that we get here on this earth. And we don't need our stuff to stop us from that, right? So our community here is all about decluttering, reducing, reusing, recycling, putting things, safely away to where they're not damaging to the environment, nor our personal environment. Obviously, if we get them out of our environment, we just don't want to create another problem on the way out. But we want to support our better self, right? All along, the goal is the better self. Physical space has a huge impact on our lives. And I just want you to sprout this little idea. That's why I have this picture here of this cute little sprout. Your physical space impacts your mental and your spiritual space every day. I just had a mom this morning. She texted me. She said, I have 4 kids and I can't even walk in my pantry. I just cry. I don't even know where to start. Girl, I gotcha. Okay. I have been in that situation a lot in my life in this job, right? Because I've been in people's homes, in their spaces, and have helped them resolve those issues for years and years and years. And all of it works together, the physical space and the mental and spiritual space. And you got to get the physical right to get the mental right, and vice versa. It's all a cycle and it works together. So sprout this idea. If you consciously create your physical space, right, you take control of that environment, you can greatly reduce your stress, improve your focus, and not end up in tears over your pantry, right? It's just something you got to take control of. And there are people whose personality, I get it. You're not a controller. You're a helper. You're a giver. You're not, or you're a creative person, and control is not your thing. Yes, but everyone can teach themselves controlling their environment, or that sense of control to the degree that they want. And I think that it's something to consider, no matter your personality type. Learning a little bit and leaning into your inner controller can help you on all levels. It can improve your creativity. It can improve your focus. So you can be more creative, create more beautiful things, but you have to get control of your space. I was in a space yesterday with a young gal, she's a college student, and she sews. And she's just said, I can't deal. My fabric is everywhere. All my little notions are everywhere. We've got to set this up. I want to design beautiful pieces. Well, if you want to design beautiful pieces of clothing, you get to create the space that enables you to do that, right? You get to be creative, but you also get to create the space that enables the creativity. So that's the kind of thing I love and just absolutely enjoy working on people with it, because guess what? The outcomes are amazing, once we get the space right. So noticing the items in your space, determining your need for them, it doesn't cost you anything. Of course, if you bring in a professional, it does, but that's a whole nother story. But take action to evaluate your space and remind yourself every day that my clutter is a physical manifestation of an unmade decision, and it's fueled by procrastination. So I saw this great YouTube video recently that pertains to this, and it just said, walk around all day telling yourself, do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now. That heads off the procrastination, right? Not that you want to be completely ADD and just taking up a million, half-finished tasks, but what you can do with the do it now mindset is work through this manifestation, this clutter, and get the decisions made that will get you to your ultimate goal of not having this, right? So you have to stop the procrastinating and determine that you're going to make decisions. You're going to do it now. You're going to change that mindset. And we're here to help you at Clean Sweep and at Love Bigger to become a better decision maker this year. That's one of our big goals, is to help people become better decision makers and sustainable change makers in their own home. So step one, find your why. Here are our steps to getting that decluttering moving, right? Breaking it loose. How do we get there? The first step to any project, right? Whether you want to sew that dress or whether you want to, buy a new car, is to determine your why. Why do I need that? Why do I need a second car? Or why do I need whatever? Why do I want to make a dress? Because I want to sell it, because I want to make, whatever, something beautiful in the world. So what is your motivation? I desire to own less so I can what? And that's really important to get clear, before you start, because that is, put it on your refrigerator, write it in lipstick on your mirror. I don't care, but determine why you want to own less stuff. And for example, for that busy mom, it was just, God, so I can get my kids out the door in the morning to school without all this chaos. Or summer's coming, so I can survive the summer with them in my house, and they know where things are. They can get their own snacks, take some monkeys off my own back, so I'm not in tears, right? So what is that motivation for you? Step one, write it down in your notebook. If you have a piece of paper or a pen, what is my why? Okay, because then you can make room for the things you truly want to hold on to. If you know what your focus is and what your reason is, your motivation is, that helps you make those decisions and stop procrastinating about them, because that goal becomes more important than the stuff. So you want to remove the things that remove you from your life. And underneath all the clutter are the things you really love and the things that you want to see every day and that lead you toward that goal. So if you know what that is, it's much easier to say goodbye to the things that don't contribute to it. This will improve your lifestyle and your ability to focus on the things that really matter. So step two, speaking of focus, is focusing on the positive, right? A lot of people think, oh God, I've got to clean up my house. And they get a really negative mindset from the start. Mindset is really important. Whether it's turning on some music, jumping around, going to a workout class, doing some yoga, whatever it is to put you in a positive and calm state before you start. And then combine that with gratitude for all the things you've been granted. You have all this stuff because you are fortunate enough to have it. There's a lot of people in the world sleeping in mud huts, or that have just barely gotten a roof over their head and are sleeping on floors with no blankets, no pillows, no mattress. Start to foster that gratitude within yourself. I have been fortunate enough to achieve this, to have all of this, right? Start from there. Gratitude for what we have. And that allows us to let go of it with generosity, because you realize there's people who haven't been given what I've been given. I can now share this. I can come from a place of abundance and I can share it and bring abundance to other people with what I just am really not using right now. It's not serving me, right? So put on some music, boost your energy, put your energy and focus into the decluttering process, and it will improve your results. It is not a chore. It is clearing the way for change. It is clearing the way for creativity. And it is clearing the way for connecting with those around you that maybe you've been disconnected from because it's too chaotic to even think about that on a given day. Step 3, make a quick pass. So Joshua Becker talks about this. Credit to Joshua. I love his methodology, and I am one of his trained declutterers as well. Even though I've been doing this for a long time, I recently took his class, and it really just refreshed everything in my mind of, what I've been doing and how I've been doing it. And I'll tell you what, making that quick pass truly does give you additional momentum. So you've already gotten your positive attitude, your gratitude, you're ready, you've got your why. Now it's momentum, right? Now it's getting into it and actually accomplishing something and not ending up in a puddle on the floor with a pile of stuff going, oh, what did I just start here? Right? Because that happens a lot. We walk into those situations a lot. So look where you can make a quick impact, a quick assessment of your home. Take a little box or a trash bag, walk around and just fill it, because you've now gotten 5-10 pounds of just stuff out of the way, right? And there you've made an impact in your home. You've filled that box with things that are just going to go to donate, or maybe it's things that you could recycle or send to, I always tell people to use TerraCycle, things you want to recycle that you didn't know where you could send them. Get one of those boxes, fill it up and get it out of your house. So there's all kinds of little ways you can just walk around, fill a bag, fill a box, move it away, move it aside. Anytime you purge first, it's a great idea. You want to get things out of your way that you don't need to take time to organize nor to even look at anymore, right? So just remove things that are obvious, simple things. And if you go on the Clean Sweep website, there's a download there for 101 things you can declutter today, or you can let go of today. So you can always go and cleansweepconsulting.net and grab that nice freebie. You can take a trash bag, walk the space, fill it with any items that can go to the trash, remove any items from surfaces, and put them below decks. Now, I'll get the argument from a lot of people, but I'm very visual and I need to see them. Test that theory. Make a home for something, like if it's some papers that you regularly check, but perhaps they could go in the cabinet above the counter, just right above there. Try putting them out of your line of sight for a little while. They're there. Clear that surface. And then when you walk into that space each time, notice what it feels like when all of that isn't staring you in the face until you're ready to work on it. Because what happens is if we leave all that stuff out and we spread and we spiral all over the counter surfaces, A, we have nowhere to work. B, every single task is staring us in the face and we're not ready to take on all those tasks at once. So if we make a home for the things we need to work on, but not right now, and move them aside and don't see them for a little bit, it calms our central nervous system. When we're ready to sit down and focus on it, we can take it out and put it in a clear space. And that can be the task we're working on right now. So I suggest to you that removing items from the surfaces and putting them below deck or in a place, in a queue, where you can move on to them next. Personally, I have like a little file box that I got from Container Store. It's very narrow and small. And that's my immediate work projects. And I limit the space that I can multiply that into, because then it's not overwhelming when I pull it out. And I also prioritize it and have the things in the front that when I'm ready, I pull that folder and then I move it to the back and then I take the next thing. And I'll tell you what, it's amazingly peaceful and calm when I go to work on a project, because I've removed that from my continuous, my continuous impact on me. So take that quick sweep and just reduce that visual clutter and give yourself a break. Step 4, room by room work. This is where we get down and dirty, guys. We roll up our sleeves and we are really getting to it. Okay. We want a space that looks like this one in the picture, right? We want it clean and clear and simple. So here's what you do. Jen, how do I get started? You're going to get started on the easiest things first, low hanging fruit, like that pass you just made through the house, right? Pick the easiest space to work on, but the most lived in space. So of those choices. So let's say the family room has got toys and blankets and pillows and clothing and stuff the kids have dropped from school and whatever in it. And that's the space where you spend most of your time. Start there because you'll see the impact faster. And those items, for the most part, the things I just listed, probably just need to go to another space in the house. They don't really live there, right? Because normally that room, if it weren't filled with that clutter, it would just be an open space that people could be and be in relationship in, or watch a show or play a game, right? But if you keep it clear, the relationships become the priority, not just the stuff everywhere, not all the distraction. The people sitting on that couch next to you are the ones you're going to focus on. So recognize that this family room, the meaning of that family room is time for family, and remove the things that block that, right? And put them in their spaces. Now, this process can make a few messes before, gets a little worse before it gets better, because when you move those things somewhere else, now they're somewhere else and they're not put away, right? I get that. But that's why we do a room by room method. Finish the room you're in. If you have to remove the object somewhere else, great. Do not go work in those other spaces. Come back. Set it down. Come back. Do this now, this room. Be focused, be present. And then you can move on to, let's say, bedroom, or let's say you want to do your kitchen next, because that's the next most popular room. And, it's not necessarily the easiest, but you feel like, okay, that's going to make the biggest impact for me. Great. Then that's where you're going to go next, etc. Another trick when you're working in that particular room that you're working in is to do it like a clock. All right. So start in one side and work your way around in a perimeter. That way, if you have to, the phone rings, you got to stop. You know where you left off. You got to go pick the kids up from school. You know where you left off, etc. So, do things like that make the process simpler for you to follow and to continue with. So I recommend this order of rooms. Joshua recommends this order, but some people say, no, absolutely. I've got a place. I want to renovate my kitchen. I really want to work there first. Great. If that's, work, what you need to work for you, great. I'm not saying it has to be any particular way. You make your choices and call in reinforcements. If, like with this pantry, the call we got today, I don't even know where to start. I'm at a loss. Great. Call in a professional. That is what we do. And we are happy to help you. And we love a good pantry. Like, that is a blast for us. Okay. Step 5, recognize the benefits of owning less. So there's a lot of benefits to owning less. And there's just a few here. You can do an experiment with owning less. If you're not comfortable with getting rid of certain things, I always tell people, experiment first. Take the item, put it in a box, and move it somewhere else for a little while that you think you really need. Find the object in your house that you can also perform the same task with, right? Let's say, for example, it's always kitchen gadgets with me. I see so many people with all these kitchen gadgets. I know people that have 7 or 8 different strainers or funnels in their kitchen. Could one of those funnels or one of those strainers handle the same thing all the other ones do? If so, keep the one in the kitchen, put all the other ones in a box, put them away, and test it. Can I still get done what I need to do on an average day with just this tool? Yeah, I certainly can. Great. Then your opportunity is for those items to go and stop cluttering up your space, right? So do a little bit of an experiment to recognize the benefit of not having all those extra things in the space, making a mess. Acknowledge that lifestyle shift that you're making, that, okay, I'm not going to be the person who has every new kitchen gadget now. My new identity is I'm going to be the person with a very efficient kitchen that can still make anything I want, but I'm going to only have certain tools. And if I don't have it, I'm going to figure it out. But I'm not going to go buy another tool because I bet you I could manage that without, right? So acknowledge that shift. Less to care for means less stress, less to wash, less to put away, less to dig around to try to find the thing you're really looking for. It'll increase your mental clarity. You have more time with your family because you're not dealing with all the stuff. And frankly, I tell people journal about it. Get a journal out and say, my minimalist journey or my downsizing journey, and talk about how you feel now that you see that clear space, or now that your family room is actually a family room, etc. Start to really pay attention. I mean, people talk about mindfulness and, oh, it's a bunch of hooey, but it's really not hooey, you guys. It's important to note the change in your demeanor, the change in your body's response to your environment when you change the environment, like any good scientist would do. So treat yourself like you are the scientist you are in this scenario, and understand how it makes you feel. And if you're anxious when the item leaves, that's something to pay attention to, because there are emotional and attachment disorders that relate to that, realistically. And if you're feeling as though you are unable to let go without significant emotional impact or psychological impact, you need to think about and consider counseling for that. Because if it's impacting your relationships and impacting your home life, there are people who can give you so much advice and counsel about that and really help you work through it. And you will be a very different person on the other side of that conversation. So if you need reference to one, please let me know. I do know some good people in that regard. Step 6, establish clutter-free habits. So once you get all those rooms worked on, or even as you go, there's new habits to start. There's a new way of being to embody, right? We are no longer embodying the cluttered, distracted Jen. I currently am choosing to embody a person who has her poop in a group and who has order to her home and order to her space and makes good decisions, because I'm not flustered. I'm not in a state of dis-ease, right, from my environment. So now that you reduce your property, you get to change those habits. You get to make different choices. And one of the first things I tell people is, when you purchase, make the choice to follow the 1 in, 1 out rule. So you've now decluttered your closet, and you have this beautiful capsule wardrobe, or a much greater reduced wardrobe, and everything looks in the closet like the Container Store ads, right? You've got everything the way you want. But you tend to go out and overshop. You tend to go out and buy an armload of new shirts. If you do that, know thyself, but you must, when you bring them in, before you hang them in the closet, something comes out of the closet. You don't buy new hangers. You limit those hangers. Something comes off that hanger before the new thing goes on the hanger. You choose to give the older item, something you've worn a lot or no longer wear, to someone who needs it, or you're going to recycle it properly through one of like the take back bags that I just did a post about this week, through trashy.io. They're great. They even give you store credits and stores to go shopping, but they take the old stuff and they deal with it properly. So I'm concerned with stewardship. I really recommend to people to follow those habits: 1 in, 1 out. And where does it go? We are responsible cradle to grave for what we buy. We can't just throw everything in a landfill. It does have to go somewhere. Okay. And part of taking charge of your space is also taking charge of all of those things, all of the relationships you have to your purchases and where they go. And knowing that you sent it somewhere at the end of its life that it could either serve someone else, or it wasn't going to damage the planet, right? The stewardship aspect of our life is important. We don't just get to be mindless consumers anymore, because this planet is trashed out. It's there's just been, you see the videos about the oceans and the things that they're finding, the total junk heaps everywhere. We need to start to take control of that and have a mindset of, I'm responsible for my personal space. I'm also responsible for my purchases and where they go when I'm through. Okay, so there is a continuity here to this that I'm really recommending strongly to you, and you will feel good about it. You really will. And then, when will you make your next pass through? And what are my new rituals and routines I'm going to set up? Maybe in every spring and every fall, I put it in my calendar that and set a day. This is closet day for me and the kids. I'm going to go through, I'm going to size everything, or I'm going to call my organizer. We're going to put a date on the calendar. and we're going to go through everything. This is when I do my pantry clean out. I'm going to clean this pantry out every 3 months and make sure all of my expired foods are removed and that I've got all my basic, like, replace the flour or things that can go bad, make sure I have all my staples. Set those dates aside for yourself and create time so it's not just an afterthought. And you'll do a lot better at maintaining your space. The experiment with less is also part of the lifestyle. So keep doing the experiments. Don't just stop with the initial clean out. Keep simplifying your processes. Keep performing, looking to say, can I perform this task with something else I own? Do I need 5 hammers? Do I need 30 rolls of Scotch tape? When if I get them all together, I really only need a couple of rolls in the house. Use up what you're, and get it back to like a normal amount of just a couple of things and know where they are. And you'll be amazed at how much money it saves you, how much time it saves you looking for things. The average American spends hundreds and hundreds of hours a year just looking for stuff because we have to dig through so much else. Imagine how much more efficient your time would be if you don't have to do that, right? And challenge your own assumptions about it, because a lot of our assumptions are made based on social media and based on what an advertiser or an influencer now has told us to believe about something and why we need it. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just got this thing, right? Don't watch the commercials and don't watch the influencers unless it's something you're having a real issue with and you're looking to solve a problem for yourself. If you're looking to improve your life, by all means, do the research. If you're looking and just working away on something else and an ad pops up and you go to squirrel on it and then all of a sudden you want it, say, no, that is not, say no to yourself and say yes to yourself at the same time by saying, I don't need that right now. That's a distraction. And that's someone else's need that I'm assuming as my own. And it's not something I need right now. We've got to work on our discernment when it comes to social media influencers, when it comes to this American mentality of I've got to have the newest, best. I can't tell you, just as an example, how many houses I'm in that have 100 different mugs or travel water bottles, etc. And now they want a Stanley. Why? What is so special about a Stanley? They're top heavy anyway, they fall right over. So what exactly does that do for you? And my argument to you is, if you have something else that'll do the trick, let something else do the trick. And I know your kids are going to pressure you about it. They need to learn that influencers are not an answer to all their questions in life and that they don't need the next best thing. And so that's a hard no to say to kids. Oh, goodness. Stuff's popping up on my screen. That's a hard no to say to kids. I get it. I've raised kids. I totally get it. But it's a very, very important lesson for them. Let's put it that way. Helpful hints for avoiding clutter. There is no rush. It took a while for things to get cluttered. So of course, start decluttering at a pace that's right for you. This all doesn't have to be done today, right? Set up a comfortable place to work on it. Get a comfy chair. I always sit over by my fireplace if I'm doing paper. I'll just take some things over there and sit where it's nice and cozy, put a blanket on in the winter, or turn on some music, etc. Like, set the stage for yourself to have success. It does not have to be a total downer to declutter your house. And the story you tell yourself is so important. I talked about this at the beginning with the motivational piece. Don't treat it as a terrible task, and it won't be one. It's all about, well, if you start with something that bugs you and doesn't serve you, right, then you can start to go, oh, right, yeah, I didn't need that. And boy, I feel lighter now. And it starts to just spiral that positivity, which is really what you want, because there simply isn't room. When they say you can have it all, they didn't mean all at one time, which is one of my favorite quotes. But also, like, who said we want to live with all of it in our homes all at one time, in our drawers, in our lives? Like, we can't do that and really be a highly functioning individual. And there's a commercialism in America that is so rampant, in the sense that there's always going to be the next best thing. And is it going to be about the next best thing, or is it going to be the next best person? Like, the person in our lives we want to spend time with, and the family memories we want to create. Those are the things, because you can't take all this crap with you anyway. Those are the things that are really important. If you get the crap out of the way, you can spend that money on doing some amazing things with your family. and setting some really big, audacious goals for things that you can accomplish. So I really challenge you to think about the mindset. In the spring, just consider, refreshing closets, doing the garage, that kind of thing. Those are some of the seasonality aspects this time of year. And obviously, setting that work day aside, as I was talking about, that's another helpful thing. This is a slide from my previous presentation, but I kept it in because I thought, if you set that work day aside and let your family know about it and everybody's working on it, and you set up snacks and you say at the end of the day, we're going to go to Chuck E. Cheese or go to, some fun thing, then you can get buy-in, you can get everyone to participate. And at the end of the day, that week is going to be so much smoother, so much calmer for everybody, that I think everyone will see it. If you can just, get them to buy in and do a little work day. I've had a couple clients tell me that they were raised with parents who did this. Our dad said, Saturday's the work day, guys. Everybody's home and we're all going to team up and we're going to really get this house like ready for spring. Or, we're going to go on a trip next month and I want us all to be ready. So let's all take a day and do some planning and, whatever. So those family work days are first of all, a great memory. My clients have said to me, I remember my mom or my dad doing that and we all had a good time together and we were all together doing it. So just think about that as an opportunity, and think about what rewards and consequences you'll do for participating or not. Finally, because I'm trying to be mindful of people's time, and this has been 35 minutes, so I'm going to try to wind it down. Talk to your family about stewardship and charities and who you might want to support, and put a bin or basket in each of their closets and in your own for things that do not fit, that are still in good condition. If they're not in good condition, you can have the child bring it to you, or, create your own routine with that. But that is my main habit that I'd like you to consider, so that you can collect those items for charities and then steward them off. As the bin fills up, you can then figure out where they're going to go, and let the children or that family member, young adult, whoever it is in your home, help determine where they're going to take it and who they're going to support with that donation. So that, again, they're getting into that mindset of stewardship and that mindset of caring for others, and removing them from that sort of more selfish mindset that the Kardashians like to foster, right? So there's a lot of opportunities out there, if you pay attention, for reading and following a lot of positive influencers in this regard, not about the stuff. But for example, Joshua Becker, Clutter Free with Kids, awesome book. The Minimalist Home, awesome book. And this is a room by room guide. But again, if it's something that is really overwhelming to you, you can hire a professional. There's plenty of amazing organizers out there, and a lot of women who make it, their side hustle while they're raising their kids, who would love to help you. So please don't hesitate. There's really no judgment here. People in our profession, we see this every day. We see the mess, and we're happy to help you get a handle on it. So if you need a rainmaker, if you need that person to just be that, lightning bolt that comes into the space and helps you, we love it. And we're, happy for the call. There's a great other book, Be the Boss of Your Stuff by Alec Hasaza. So please, check that out on Amazon. I'll post this to YouTube. So if you want the links, you can grab them there. Minimalist Podcast. Those guys are great, very philosophical, but good motivation. And then we have our Love Bigger official YouTube and Instagram, and soon TikTok. I keep saying I'm going to get to that. And then our Love Bigger community on Facebook. So you can please join our groups there and learn more. And we will post at minimum a monthly video like this one with some thoughts, ideas, a little different spin on it each time. And I probably will I have my videos on there from a previous interview series that I did about resilience and about thriving through life changes, and talk to experts from all over the world. And I'll probably put together another one of those programs soon, with a lot of speakers and individuals who can really help us. So just, follow us. And as those things come out, we'll keep you updated. And we also have an email list on Love Bigger, which you can join to learn more about how to support the charities. Janelle Azar, who's a wonderful organizer here in Michigan, another one of our NAPO partners. She's got a great class about organizing with kids. And our sharing engine, the Love Bigger app, is my final ask. Please hop on your phone, sign up for it. Just look up Love Bigger in the App Store or the Google Play Store. Download it today if you're in Michigan, and very soon in other states, but you can download and sign up, and we will notify you as soon as we're in your state. So please, if you can do that, we would love to have you. And this is basically what it looks like. You can locate charities near you, etc. And so you can check out lovebigger.com for more info. And I will stop my screen sharing here. And thank you so much for coming today and for watching this on YouTube, because I'm sure you'll see the playback. I just really love to talk about this topic. As you can see, I'm very passionate about it. And, on a daily basis, I see these things. I see the way people are living and the choices they're making. And I can see a way through that for people. And I really am trying to make an impact. So invite your friends, to the next one. Our upcoming event in May is going to be Thursday, May 23rd at lunchtime. And also, shoot me a message if you'd rather me have this on an evening or come and speak to a group. I love to speak to groups. So if you want me to come and speak to a group that you're involved with, topics that I can also address besides minimalism and decluttering are also preparing your home for listing and sale, and any sort of training around starting organizing business too. Like if you're a young organizer and you would like help with that, I'm happy to do it. I have been the president of Maple, Michigan for a couple of years, and I've done this for over 25 years, so I've got a handle on it, I think, pretty well. So yeah, so I will look forward to seeing you guys next month if I don't talk to you before then. And please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach me at jen@lovebigger.com if you want to shoot me an email, and otherwise DM me on any of the social platforms, and I'm sure I can help you with whatever your situation may be. Or if I can't, I will refer you to someone who can. That is one of our big focuses here. Our team, we research and we have a good deep bench of contacts and people that we can place you with. So please don't hesitate to ask if you need assistance, and we are here to help. Again, I am Jen Hurd with Clean Sweep Consulting and the Love Bigger Movement. Thank you for coming to our little talk today, and we'll see you soon.